A very warm welcome to all you lovely people. Welcome to Chat Time with me, Oineetom. And of course, today I am extremely excited to introduce all of you to my very special guests. My guests today are the legendary singer, songwriter, musician Lou Majaw and the brilliant filmmaker from Assam, Mr. Bidyut Kotoky. Gentlemen, welcome to Chat Time with me and welcome to Northeast Live. It's really wonderful to have you both on the show today.
Thank you.
But first of all, I would like to tell my viewers, they both are here with me today because these two brilliant minds, these two very great artists from the region have come together. In fact, Bidyut, Mr. Kotoky, he's just completed the first cut of a documentary on Lou Majaw. So really wonderful, very interesting. And first, of course, Mr. Kotoky, I would love to start with you. It must have been very exciting and interesting to do a documentary on a person like him.
Absolutely is. I know him for how long? 25 years?
I guess so.
I realized when he called me up that Bidyut, I'm turning 75, will you cover it? And I was like, okay, let's.
Yeah.
And that time I realized when I started exploring Lou Majaw, the man behind the mask, I realized that I didn't know him at all. This is a mask which he wears along with his hat. Very well. You know the performer. The moment the camera is on, the moment the guitar is on his hand, he's a performer. And that is what we know him.
Right.
And the man behind that.
Yes, there's so much more.
Much more fascinating and interesting.
I'm sure.
Which thankfully, a very small part of it, I could explore thanks to this film, maybe.
Yeah. So yes, we are going to talk a lot more about how you started doing it. Of course, you mentioned that it was Mr. Majaw who reached out to you. 75, of course, he doesn't look that, and the energy, the passion and the excitement that you bring on stage and even off stage, it's lovely to have you, Really, I would really want to know where does all this energy come from?
It's the power of music.
Of course, yes. From you, would want to hear more about the making of this documentary.
Coming back to the film,
yeah.
When Lou first called up saying, Bidyut, I'm turning 75, which, as you said, very difficult to believe that he's
the platinum gong.
Yes, the platinum gong. Yeah. We are going to talk about that as well. Yes.
And would you cover it? The first thing on my mind that what new I can bring into the table about Lou, which is not being told. So many documentaries are made on him. He's a legend. Every guy with a dream of Western music in Northeast, he's somebody they look up to.
Yeah.
So on my mind, the thing was that what is there left to be said about him, and what's the point of me trying to make just another film on him? I remember about one film, I won't name the film for obvious reason, which was supposed to be the film on Lou Majaw. I watched the film and I kind of disliked it.
Okay.
And I asked Lou that what do you feel about that film? And he was like, Bidyut, to tell you the truth, I could not sit more than 15 minutes of that film. And I was like that, okay, I don't want him to say the same thing about my film by him to someone else. So the challenge was, he's a larger than life persona.
Yeah.
He loved to pretend he's a womanizer. He loved to pretend he's a drunkard. And he loved to pretend many other things, which I think he, in a way, he portrays his vices more than his virtues. And how he helps people more often than not, nobody knows.
Yes.
how he works with the underprivileged, he never talks about. So it's fascinating to try to know, and his family, his extended family. You think he is a bohemian character and who doesn't care about, but as I get to know his family a little more, I realize how caring an uncle or a father he is, which he pretend he is not.
Right.
I mean, in front of camera, he will. I remember something about his son. He just brushed it off. No, he's a spoiled guy and kind of. Then when I later on asked the son that about one incident, he told me the whole story, that how going back home after brushing it off in front of camera, how the caring father sat down with him and to understand his point of view and how he realized.
Right.
And that you won't actually know looking at him. He is pretending to be somebody very different.
Very different.
And he's a born performer. The moment the camera is on,
True.
he's somebody else.
Yes. We would love to, of course, once we get to see the documentary, we'll know a lot more about the real Lou Majaw. But how much can we know today? The loving, doting father that Mr. Kotoky is talking about, and that other side of Lou Majaw.
See, the reality is that no one really knows anybody. From a man to a woman, from a husband to a wife, from a son to a mother, father to whoever. No one really knows anybody. Because if you count 1 to 100, you might know 40, but what happened to the 60? No one will know. That is within oneself. So that's why it's always like that. That's why we always have, our own den. We always have our own little world. We live, like from the physical to the mental to the emotional and the spiritual. So in these 4 spheres, we are already divided. But we have the 5th one, that's deeper than the deep. That's what life is all about. That's what completes the circle.
Sounding very philosophical. Is that you, really? Or?
Well, I think, like Lou Majaw is here with you.
Yeah.
So I guess that is that.
Other than music, what interests you in life?
It's a love of nature, See, because, I might be very, very happy, and then all of a sudden, just like that, I might be very unhappy. It saddens me. It saddens me to an extent to see the people of total disrespect to the environment, to planet Earth. We have one life and one lifetime, which is so very short. And we have one planet, only one planet. And we don't give a damn about it.
True.
So that really saddens me a lot. I've seen it in my own hometown. I see it everywhere. That total disrespect. So if Lou Majaw is sad, this is one of the sadness. But I just hope that one day the human beings, they'll be human enough to wake up and realize that they've got one lifetime to live, and that lifetime is too short, so why shorten it?
Right, yes.
And we've got a beautiful planet called Earth, so we've got to make it even more beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course, of course. So, coming back to the making of the documentary, you've already mentioned that you've seen many, many different facets of him. Of course, he's really vast a person to cover up in that few minutes, I guess. But when did you start making it? When did the whole thing?
See, actually, I made another film before, which is not exactly on Lou, but maybe I can still say he's the driving force. It's called Guns and Guitars.
Yes.
That was almost a decade back, and I remember that also started with a casual conversation we had. I mean, when Lou comes to Mumbai, many a time he calls me up and lands up in my place and at least used to. And his only demand used to be take me to one particular music shop where he wants to buy the guitar strings and music listing. And he's as self-proclaimed very bad traveler. He doesn't want to see any sight, any touristy thing. So one day we're going there and I was like just thinking aloud with him that even something as basic as a good guitar string, you have to depend on a shop in Mumbai. And when we have gone to there, obviously they knew of him and they were like that we have maximum customer, good customer from Northeast. I mean, I was kind of puzzled that when the best of the best, liquor beverages, and the costliest of the things are available at the drop of a hat. For something as basic as a guitar string, good guitar string, he has to visit a shop in Mumbai. So that was the conversation which started the seed of Guns and Guitar, that in Northeast, how all the for the outside world is a place of gun.
Right.
And nobody talks about the guitar. And so that was about Dylan's 40th celebration, I guess. 40th celebration, how he planned with 8 different bands from 8 northeastern states. We traveled with the band and we grand finale in Shillong. And obviously in documentary, even in regional films, the budget is bad and documentary is worse. So after that, I was kind of that, okay, I had enough of how long you want to struggle for making a film. But again, he's not somebody you want to say no to. So when he called the Bidyut, I wanted to cover my 75th. I was like, of course. And but then the question was like, what am I going to cover? To be honest, I didn't have a very clear idea what I wanted to do. And I think in this film also the journey is more interesting than the destination. Along the way, I don't say that I got to discover a lot more, but definitely much more than what I used to know of him. I used to, like for example, he's a tea lover. That everybody knows. But his economic status reflected on his preferred tea. As in, he confided in me that when he have a good money, he prefer white tea. When he have little less money, he goes for green tea. When he's absolutely broke, he opt for black tea.
Interesting.
That's the regular tea.
So those kind of pretty interesting tidbits.
Very interesting. Yes. So what do you love doing when you're not doing music?
Well, I think music, I feel music. And of course, one of the few things which I always love to do, I go to these government offices and then maybe privately owned that deals with trees and stuff like that. So sometimes, sometimes from the government you get free, which is very difficult also to get for free, because most of the plants has been allotted to the government officials. For example, like they have the MPs and then they have the MLAs and they have the MDCs. So and then they have the officers, the directors and the chairman and all that kind of bullshit. So it's very difficult, but once in a while I used to get. So whenever there's little extra money, then I go to these the private nurseries, so to say. So I buy from them and I give to my friends, because I don't have a big place, a big area like this. So since my friends, they are well-to-do, they've got a huge property, so I buy the trees from them, for them, from these nurseries, and I give to them so that get these planted. And once in a while I used to do it by myself, so that's what I love to do.
Wow.
Besides taking care of once in a while maybe vegetables kind of stuff like that. For the past few years I've been doing these purple beans. So I've been busy giving the purple beans to lots of people as well. The seeds.
Oh, wow.
So these are the few things which I like to do.
Okay. Do you have some kind of interest in cooking and all of those stuff as well?
Once in a while.
Okay.
Once in a while. Otherwise, most of the time, no, I prefer not to. But when I want to do cooking, that means I definitely put, everything into it.
All right.
For example, like when I'll do shopping, when I'll buy potatoes. So if I buy a kg of potatoes, maybe it'll take me about 20 minutes to 40 minutes.
Do you pick and choose every
Yes,
piece?
one by one.
Okay.
Then first I see this, they have to be almost of the same size.
All right.
Okay, almost the same size, and then there should not be any damaged part, that kind of stuff like that. So people, they ask me, why do you have to go through that? I don't see, so that when you cook them, they'll be well cooked.
Right.
You don't have to, now suppose if you just buy randomly, then you have to keep the big ones below and then the small ones on top. So I hate to go through that. So when I buy the potatoes, I make sure that they have, I take my own time, then I wash them thoroughly.
Yeah.
Wash them thoroughly, boil them nicely, and then roast them. So
Wow.
that maybe it'll take about an hour and a half. So who can wait for that?
No, but I'm sure it must be turning out to be delicious.
Yeah,
So I think it's worth the wait.
Yeah, lots of my friends, they do this.
And also, end of the day, it's Lou Majaw who's cooking. So it makes much more, worth it. Wow, I really wonder what, how did you feel at that point of time when you got the call from him?
See, let me tell you, the first time when I met him, I was not a particularly big fan of Western music. So I'm ashamed to say kind of that I had no idea Lou Majaw and his existence, and I was studying in Pune and I just came out. I started working in this TV series called 𝗟𝗓𝗡, and I was making small film for them. And I remember one article, I think, of India Today. There's a on in Northeast musicians and musical, and there's one quote by one Mr. Lou Majaw about somebody asked him about Michael learns to rock, and he was like that. Michael will be still learning to rock when I hit 100th year. And I was like, okay, this guy looks interesting. Yeah, that's actually, once you spend time with him, you realize that the saying that journey is more important than the destination is absolutely hold true with him. He doesn't care. He decide on something, go ahead, does it, leave it behind, and forgets all about it. The next step, move on. And it's all of us say about it, but he actually does it. I'm seeing him over the years, and then look back. And so actually what was so special for me in this particular documentary, I think one of the first time in his life, I made him look back to his life, where we have gone to the places where he used to sleep on the road in Calcutta and all, maybe after 30, 40 years, maybe more.
Yeah, I guess so.
And he never does it, and this time we made him do that. So I think that was a special moment for me as a filmmaker, and I hope he will also remember those moments, because that was one of the only
Very emotional,
the church which he worked as a laborer to build, there he gone and perform. So he never used to revisit those things.
Yes.
The house where he used to come in after post 12 o'clock because he doesn't have a place, and he used to be friendly with the chowkidar and go in and sleep and leave before anybody wake up.
Right.
All those things, when he start talking, and I realized that maybe one of the first time in his life, he's looking back at his life, at his legacy, which he never does otherwise.
Yeah, and like he said,
that trip was like really meaningful, fabulous.
what do you think about the current music scene as far as Meghalaya and the whole of Northeast is concerned?
You see, the entire music scene all over the country, so since talking about Shillong or for that matter Assam, whatever it is, see it got blown out of proportions, which is a good thing, of course. So that in this way, lots of people who are interested in that specific kind of music, for them they will swear their life because of that music. So let them have that patch of paradise. You see, because why play God with everyone?
Yeah.
You see, now folk music is the mother of music. It's the root, it's the seed, it's the beginning of music, of all music. And it doesn't mean that the entire world should listen to folk, because from there it grows, isn't it? So from the seed it goes into a tree. From the tree it grows into leaves. From leaves into flowers. Flowers into fruits and to so many things. So musically, that's how it grows. So from folk, then you have all your blues, you have all your classical, you have your soul, you have your country. Before they say bluegrass. I don't know why they say bluegrass, whatever it is. But then after that comes, they mix with this and that, and then became rock and roll. And then from rock and roll, everyone is busy doing to the rock and roll bit. That some people they put a little classic touch into it, yes. So it became a classic rock. And they put a little jazz into it, became a jazz rock. So it keeps on.
Your tea is here.
Salute, salute for health.
Yes, and to your upcoming documentary, all the songs.
Not my documentary. Mr. Bidyut Kotoky's hard work.
Yes, to that.
Yeah.
And
his beautiful wife, Pallavi.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Would love to meet her.
Yeah.
Yes. So before we wind up,
yeah.
I would want to know, we know Lou Majaw as the rock star. There's a lot of
rock star.
Yeah. You were supposed to be the mascot, rock mascot of Shillong.
Ooh, boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy.
But I think there's a lot of folk in you. Like you mentioned, folk music is the mother of all music.
It's the mother of music, yeah.
So how do you look at yourself? Who is Lou Majaw, according to Lou Majaw?
That's what I've been requesting. Few people to write a book. Who is Lou Majaw? I don't know.
Okay, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot of the other side of Lou Majaw in the documentary.
I sincerely hope so. See, the thing is that, if it has that little magic, which will be meaningful to the people, to everyone who sees the film, the documentary, then now out of 100 people, if there's only one, who sees that light from there, we're blessed.
Absolutely, yes. But by when can we see the docu? When is it releasing? What are the plans there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for some final pieces of the puzzle to fall in to complete the jigsaw puzzle. Hoping for certain star to align, if I may say so. And
is it because of financial constraint or something?
Not really financial. I mean,
something big that you are fabulous.
Never can tell.
I mean, keep it this way, that like he chews each and every potato and
yes.
Takes his time to
best potato roast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are just hoping that we are trying to wait to see if we can get few perfect potatoes and complete the dish on Lou Majaw.
Yes, and it's the documentary will be named
Lou and Behold. as of now.
I freaked out on that, because I think you had sent to me another 50 Shades of Lou Majaw, remember?
Yes.
And prior to that, it was, Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, sing a song for me. Isn't that at the embryonic stage?
I couldn't get it. One.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, sing a song for me.
Yes, that also was a tentative title. We are actually like he said, he has just so many shades.
Yes.
Whose name will be perfect? Like Searching for Dylan was, I was thinking once, and Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man was another name. Then 50 Shades of Blue came in. But then
That's a very interesting one, though.
yeah.
50 Shades, maybe more than 50 Shades.
More than 50 Shades. Then, but suddenly when we are making this, and somebody like that, this is a perfect name, Lo and Behold, and we are like, okay, and that
That's lovely.
can be a
Yeah.
apt name for
Yeah, it's it has that kick over there.
Yeah.
I think partly because it's fun also. Look and behold, lo and behold.
Lo and behold.
I think it's one of those.
No, actually, it came from I'm making small films on him, and I'm also collecting some of the documents. I mean, he used to have VHS rushes of some of the things which he had performed, and those gone, and I think gone out of circulation. But I had fortunately digitized some of it for my earlier work, and I was going through those things, and suddenly in one newspaper cutting, we found the word Lo and Behold, and somebody like that, this is the apt name for.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Lovely. So, of course, there's so much more to talk about with both of you. Film world, world of music, world of rock and folk, Assamese film. So much more to talk about, but unfortunately time, as always, has been a constraint. Once again it is, but wishing the best for the documentary and all your films. Would love to hear more from you about your passion for food, cooking, buying vegetables, your passion and love for environment. That's another.
Not for the wine, women and weather?
Of course, that too. I don't.
Everybody knows. They want to know the unknown.
Yes, and I'm sure he will have so much more to share. Would be wonderful.
Thanks for inviting us.
It's pleasure's always mine. Lovely that both of you could spare some time. And one more time.
Salute.
Salute. And thank you, viewers, for watching.
Salute. Kublai.